Good morning, everyone. Happy game day, or maybe it's not a happy game day. I don't know. It depends on your perspective as a fan right now. Not a whole lot about this team is happy, but we're going to make the best of the situation nevertheless. And we're about, 4 hours shy of kickoff, and I've got some last minute game notes. Now, there is a possibility that we learn some stuff between now and kickoff because of the nature of the COVID list now, where you can have players get activated with as little as 3 hours between the current time and kickoff. So, in the next hour, we may learn some stuff, but I wanted to go over the information that we have before the game start this morning. So, Brady Henderson has the updates here. I'll just go over it real quick. The Seahawks activated defensive end Kerry Hyder from the COVID list and put Bless You One Austin on the list the team announced. Austin was in line to start for Reed again, so unless Reed can test off the COVID list before game time, which as of right now is unknown, Seattle will be down to John Reed. So Hyder's back, which is nice. Hyder's been a decent enough player for us, but if this is looked at as like a trade of some sorts where you give up Austin to get Hyder, I'm not crazy about that because Austin is a guy who has an outside chance of being part of this future that we may be building in 2022 and beyond. I honestly think he's played okay so far. So I'd rather see him out there and get him experience over a guy like a Kerry Hyder, who, because of money, will probably be here next year anyway. We already know what Kerry Hyder is. There's no mystery with Kerry Hyder. He is a good enough player. He showed, I don't want to call it superstar potential, but really solid potential last year in San Fran when he took over for Bosa, but that seems to be a little. That's not who Kerry Hyder is as a player. He's okay, he's decent, he's fine, he's whatever, but I would have rather seen Austin out there, all things being equal, because Austin is a guy who I look at and I go, huh. I feel like that guy has a little bit of a higher ceiling than we might know right now. So we got John Reed, and I don't know about John Reed for some reason, and admittedly, this guy might be more of a safety, but I kind of like Nigel Warrior a little bit more than John Reed. So I I don't know. I would have, if this was the way things had to go, I would have rather seen Nigel Warrior out there at corner, but John Reed did play a little bit in our last game and didn't embarrass himself, so let's see what's up. Next tweet from Brady Henderson. In addition to Austin and Reed, Seattle has 5 others on the COVID list. Disley, Mone, Shell, and then some practice squatters, Ryan Izzo and Mike Jackson. Per Pete Carroll, protocols say any of them could hypothetically be activated tomorrow. So, as of this video's upload, we got 4 hours before kickoff. As far as I know, these guys, their statuses still stand. I don't think we're gonna get Disley back because he just got put on the list a few days ago, but anybody else could. Having Reed is a big deal if you value winning games, right? Like Reed's our best corner, and while I appreciate the job Sidney Jones is doing, I think that he did get beat a couple of times as the number one corner in the Rams game, and that might just be a little bit over his head at this point. I do want DJ Reed out there if we're still trying to make fair evaluations of people, and I think evaluating a guy like a Sidney Jones is much more fair if you allow him to be your number two corner and not the number one corner. Brian Mone being back would be nice. He's somebody who may or may not be here next year. He's a free agent. Shell, I don't want to see Shell play another snap this year, even if he is without COVID. So I'm not too invested into that. But we got some stuff to watch out for in the next hour. Hopefully we can. I would love to have Disley back because Disley. He adds some punch to this running game, I think, and he is a competent pass catcher. Most games, it seems like he has at least one good play in the passing game. So would like to have Disley, but we're just gonna have to we'll have to wait and see. I'm not optimistic there, and Other than that, the interesting stuff here really is the practice squad call-ups we have made. Brady Henderson has this tweet here outlining who we brought up from the practice squad. Miles Adams, defensive tackle. Josh Jones, safety. Tyler Mabry, tight end. Cody Thompson, wide receiver. And Edmund Robinson, the linebacker. Also, our linebacker coach, John Glenn, has been cleared to return after missing the Rams game due to COVID. So we also got one of our assistant coaches back. And as you can see, we're obviously it's because of COVID, but we're kind of emptying the benches here. We're pulling some guys up. We're going to kick the tires on some of them. We're going to see what we have. And I do like that. I think that this season being what it is at this point, you do want to use every opportunity to see what you have in some of your younger guys who didn't really get to play this year. So I fully support the decision to call up as many practice squatters as I can. Are these the practice squatters I wanted to see? Maybe not. Who knows, right? There's no way we can know because we haven't seen these guys hardly at all. In some cases, we haven't seen them at all. These are not necessarily the guys I have earmarked as potential parts of this team's future. We activated a guy like a Josh Jones and an Edmund Robinson, a safety and a linebacker. The reserve safety / linebacker I would like to see get snaps is Tanner Muse, not these guys. And that's no disrespect to them, but I look at Tanner Muse and I see a guy who has real talent, who has real potential, a higher ceiling. So if it comes to that, if it comes to us needing to put a different safety or a different linebacker on the field, I would hope it would be Tanner Muse, because to me that's the guy with real upside. I don't think that Tyler Mabry is ever going to be anything more than he is, which is a third string or fourth string tight end. Maybe Cody Thompson has a little bit of NFL quality potential, but it's not like this team is hurting for receivers overall right now, especially with Lockett back. So there's only so excited I can get about that. And Miles Adams, maybe. I don't know a ton about Miles Adams personally. He's just not one of the guys that I looked at on this practice squad or at the end of the bench and went, I feel like that guy has some untapped potential. So these are the practice squad call-ups we made. I don't see Adrian Peterson here. So Adrian Peterson might end up being one touchdown and done. Like get one touchdown and then call it good. Because it doesn't seem like he's going to be playing in this game. I also don't see Josh Johnson here. So, I mean, we obviously got Collins back and Penny's playing. So we don't really need another running back. But Josh Johnson was a guy who I would have been a little excited to see because I do feel like there's a little something there. So I like the fact that we are going to be playing some guys that we are not too familiar with as fans and as an organization. These aren't necessarily the guys that I want to give some playing time to, but you got to start somewhere. I'm actually kind of sad that we lost Radigan because he's a guy who I would have liked to have seen gotten a few snaps on defense over these last few games. I kind of like what's going on there. If not Muse, then Radigan. I see a little bit more going on with guys like that than I do Edmund Robinson. So that's the news as I know it so far. These are your last minute game notes. It's not a whole lot, but hopefully we can see something that we weren't expecting to see in this game. That's how I'll put it. I want to see something that I haven't seen before from this team, even if it's just somebody like a Josh Jones, who I am indifferent towards. Let's do something a little different. All right, see you guys after the game. Go Hawks.